Hello everyone, my name is Anas Maman and I am here to present my assignment of International Business Law, and I am here with my new group 2. Our professor is Bob Enofe. My team members are Harmanjot Kaur, Pune Yagmin, Harsimjit Kaur, Raina Singh, Chirnath Godwa and me. So our topic is United States import prohibition of certain shrimp and shrimp products. So from 1998 is a pivotal example of the conflict between environmental protection and international trade regulations. The United States implemented a ban on a shrimp import from countries not using turtle-excluder devices, which is called TEDS, to safeguard sea turtles. This action was contested by several nations, leading to significant ruling by the World Trade Organization (WTO). This case highlighted the complexities of balancing environmental conservation with adherence to international trade law. Now my team member will gonna present the presentation. Thank you.
Today's presentation is based on import prohibition by United States of America on certain shrimp and shrimp products. So they implemented a ban as on some countries that did not use harvesting methods to protect sea turtles, specifically designed turtle exclusive devices to harvest them. Complainants: India, Malaysia, Thailand and Pakistan challenged US measures that it's inconsistent with Journal Agreement on Tariff and Trade articles, particular with X1, that means Journal Elimination on Quantitative Measures, and 101, that means Most Favored Nation treatment. In defense, US argued that they are justifiable under Article XX of General Agreement on Tariff and Trade. That means there is exception related to conservation of exhaustible natural resources laws, as sea turtles are endangered species and require protection. So on this, World Trade Organization panel found that their import on shrimp products violated articles of GATT X1, and they are even not justifiable under Article XX. That means there is exception related to conservation is allowed, and even their measures resulted in unjustifiable discrimination as well. And although US measures qualified for provisional justification as per Article G of XX, but it failed qualifying Article XX due to their unjustifiable discrimination in their application. So they revised their policy by allowing shrimp importation through harvesting vessels using turtle-excluder devices. So as impacted, complainant countries resulted in economic loss as their GDP decreased by this ban.
Good morning everyone. My name is Chirnath Gowda, and today I'm going to be presenting about the relevant issues pertaining to the case study of ban of shrimp and shrimp products of certain kind onto US soil. The United States implemented a rule that importing shrimp and shrimp products that were caught without using turtle excluder devices (TEDs) are prohibited from being imported to US soil, and these devices were used to prevent endangered sea turtles from getting caught into the shrimp nets. The US stated that the preservation of endangered species, such rule was implemented, and this rule stands in the violation of GATT 1994. Hence, the countries such as India, Malaysia, Pakistan, and Thailand brought a complaint forward towards the World Trade Organization. Two main relevant issues come up while seeing at this case. Did the US ban the shrimp and the shrimp products in the violation of trade rule, specifically GATT 1994? The second one is, can the US justify the reasoning for protecting endangered species, especially the sea turtles? Let's look into detail about these two issues. Violation of the trade rules. Article 11-1 of the General Agreement on Trade and Tariff GATT 1994 says that a country should not prohibit or restrict import or export of for normal duties, taxes, or other charges. The countries that brought forth the complaint argued that the US ban on certain shrimp and shrimp products was in clear violation of the article above. In this slide, we are going to be looking into the exception of the article and fairness and non-discrimination clause. Article 20 of the GATT 1994 provides an exception for the rule. If the country shows it is necessary to protect the life of a living organism or to conserve its non-renewable resources, they are exempt from the rule. The US argued that the ban was necessary for the preservation of endangered sea turtles. Hence, it is justifiable and they are not in the violation of international trade rules. Fairness and non-discrimination clause in Article 20. The clause in Article 20 states that any measure taken under this exception should make sure that unjustifiable discrimination between countries that does not take place under any level or disguise. The countries that brought forth the complaint argued that the ban has hurting the trade and it is discriminatory way to these countries, hence it is unfair.
So when we talk about the rules applied, in an effort to protect endangered sea turtles, the US banned the importation of shrimp and shrimp products that were caught without the use of turtle-excluder devices, TEDs. Nevertheless, nations like Thailand, Malaysia, India, and Pakistan contested this measure at the World Trade Organization, claiming it went against the global trade regulations, particularly in 1994 General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, GATT. The first would be the violation of the trade rules, Article 11.1 of GATT 1994. Provision was that WTO member countries may not, with the exception of duties, taxes, or other levies, impose prohibitions or restrictions on imports or exports through mechanisms such as quotas, import or export licenses, or other measures according to Article 11.1. Complainant countries' argument was that they contested that the US ban on shrimp and shrimp products caught without TEDs amounted to an import prohibition, a violation of Article 11.1. They argued that the ban violated their GATT 20 trade rights by making it more difficult for them to export shrimps in the US. The last would be the WTO decision. The findings of the panel and the appellate body considered whether the US measure could be supported by Article 20 in the case that was brought before the WTO. They debated whether the action was required for the sea turtle conservation. If the measure was implemented without discrimination and if it amounted to arbitrary or unjustifiable distinction between nations with similar circumstances. The result was the WTO determined that although the goal of safeguarding marine turtles was valid, the US execution of the policy presented certain issues. The US had implemented the measure in a way that constituted arbitrary and unjustifiable discrimination, according to the WTO appellate body, which also found that US had not sufficiently engaged in serious, all-encompassing negotiations with the complaining countries. As a result, it was determined that the US measure did not comply with GATT 1994. The second, I would like to talk about the US justification for the ban. Article 20 of GATT 1994 said that Article 20 offers an exemption to the GATT's general rules, enabling member nations to enact measures that would be in conflict with their obligations under the agreement. As long as those measures are required to accomplish specific legal goals, like safeguarding the health or lives of humans, animals, or plants, Article 20b said it. But the US argument was that it cited in the Article 20b and 20g as justification. US claimed that the prohibition was required to safeguard sea turtles, an endangered species and finite natural resource. According to the US, using TEDs is a crucial and practical way to keep sea turtles from getting entangled in shrimp, nets and dying, which helps to preserve their species.
Hello everyone, my name is Pune. I'm going to talk about how rules applied and their applications. First rule is US law section 609, which prohibits shrimp import from countries that don't use turtle safe fishing devices. And according to that rule, the US banned shrimp import from India, Pakistan, Malaysia, and Thailand. The second rule, which is related to WTO, is Article 20, which allows WTO members to adopt measures for specific purposes, including protection of human, animal, or plant lives, Part B, and conservation of exhaustible natural resources, Part G. So the United States argued that this ban is according to this rule, and the United States has done it for the purpose of conservation of sea turtles. We have another rule, the scope of Article 20, which prohibits measures that constitute unjustifiable discrimination between countries where the same conditions prevails. Its application, panel decided that it was threatening multilateral trading system. And now you will see the final result in the conclusion part.
Hi, my name is Harmanjot Kaur and I'm a group member of Group 2. So in this slide, I would discuss about the conclusion. The appellant body switched the boards observing that tolerant non-mentioned data from non-legislative sources is contradictory with the arrangements of TSU. And the next thing I would talk about is that the appellant body overturns the panel's finding that the United States measure in question does not fall within the scope of measure allowed under the chapter of Article XX of the GATT 1994. And they also conclude that although the United States measure qualifies for the provisional justification under Article XX, it does not satisfy the requirements of chapter of Article XX, and therefore it is not justified under Article of GATT 1994. So in this slide, we will look into the decision of this case. The appellant body advised that the DSB asked the United States to modify its measure, which was deemed inconsistent with the Article XI of the GATT 1994 by the panel report and unjustified under Article XX of the GATT 1994 by this report to ensure it complies with the United States obligation under that argument. Thank you so much from my whole team.